In the past year, and this is what I said during the election last year, in Trump's first year in office, have Americans been put first? Have American, and in particular Republican voters, have they been taken care of? The answer is no. If you could list the top 3 things that you voted for Trump to achieve, have any of those things happened? Because for me, the answer is no. For me, the top 3 were mass deportations, no new wars, and tariffs. Have any of these things really systematically happened? The answer is no. There have been no mass deportations. Sure, the border is closed, but that's too little too late. They closed the border after they let 10 million people in. Yeah, that's the least you could do. We need to start getting the people out. They're not doing it. There's no focus on that. And as a matter of fact, Trump said we're actually going to keep some of those people here. And some that are sent out, we're going to bring back in on work visas. Trump said the radical right will understand when I do that. Well, I'm not happy about that. How about no new wars? Has that been achieved? Absolutely not. We're getting in another war. Think about where we are. The current position of the United States. The war in Ukraine is raging on. We bombed Iran. We're bombing Somalia. We're talking about getting involved in Nigeria. We're about to go to war in Venezuela. And number 3, as far as tariffs are concerned, what the hell is even that? They declared Liberation Day on April 2nd. Then they took all the tariffs back. Then they put some of them back on. Then they made some bilateral deals. And the whole economy is still reeling. Nobody wants to invest money. Nobody wants to make a move because everybody's waiting for the next shoe to drop. Trump doesn't even have the authority to do some of the tariffs. So it's held up in the Supreme Court. This is not an American system. This is not tariffs and subsidies that's actually going to facilitate domestic industry. This is just like every other ad hoc, disorganized policy. And people could make the excuses about any of it, about the deportations, about the foreign policy, about the tariffs. They could talk about political realities. But here's why that doesn't work. At the same time the administration has failed to deliver any of this, they have rolled out the red carpet for everybody else and with everything else. And I'm not just talking about Israel. What did they do for the Israel lobby? They bombed Iran. They went to war against the Houthis. They gave Israel $12 billion in aid. When they froze foreign aid for every other country, they kept it going for Israel. They replenished the missiles. They sent 2 carrier strike groups.
And isn't that weird? Like, for real, you can say whatever you want about Nick, but you can't call this man a liar. And I can say this over and over again, but this is just the truth. Like, again, Donald Trump, I feel like he is not doing anything for the average American. He is busy with almost every country in the world, but not with the United States. Why? We pay him. Or tax money goes to him. And why is he not busy with our own country? We have so many problems in our own country. Why are we busy with Iran? Why are we busy with Israel? Why are we busy with Ukraine? Why are we busy with Venezuela? I want him to be busy with the United States, right? America first. I hope people agree with me on this.
Netanyahu has been to the White House 4 times. Israel is very pleased. Trump went there to sign this grand deal that Israel's violating with the procession of diplomats that are there to oversee it. So the Israelis are getting everything they want and more. How about Silicon Valley? They're getting everything they want in terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of defense contracts. Doge did not cut the deficit $1, but it did bring in all of Palantir's people. It did bring in all of Elon Musk's people. They brought in Anduril. They brought in SpaceX, all these companies. They're all firmly entrenched in the Department of War, in the National Security Council. They got what they wanted. How about Wall Street? They got their corporate tax cut. They got their deregulation. They're getting everything they want, even big agriculture. Brooke Rollins runs the Department of Agriculture. She has a close relationship with the president. She speaks on behalf of big agriculture, which is a huge industry. They got the Trump administration to stop deporting illegal immigrant farmers. They got Trump not to take soda off of food stamps. In a nutshell, this is the same story. This is deja vu all over again. And by the way, this is what I said last year. I said that we, the voters, we, the people, have to recognize that we are being had. They are telling us one thing, they're planning to do something else. They're telling us we're going to get a golden age and we're going to cut prices and end all the wars and deport all the illegals. I said, but they got their fingers crossed behind their back because the money is lining up for Trump. Elon Musk, $270 million. Tim Mellon, the banker, $200 million. Miriam Adelson, $100 million. Mark Andreessen, $65 million. The pro-Israel money, the Wall Street money, the Silicon Valley money, it was lining up behind Trump. The media stood down. The money stepped up. All the Silicon Valley scions were at the inauguration. They paid for it. You wanted proof that we were going to get screwed over? I said that last year. And what we have gotten in 2025 is that the White House, the administration, is putting the special interests and what they want ahead of what they promised to the voters. They are working overtime to fight anti-Semitism and Israel's enemies. They're working overtime to win the AI race and give out as many contracts as possible to little tech.
I wish they were working overtime for you and for me, because we are working our ass off, or I will talk for myself and probably my watchers too, my viewers too, excuse me. We are working, or excuse me, I am working my ass off. I have to pay so much taxes and I can barely survive. Everything is so expensive in this country and it's getting out of hand. Meanwhile, these people, they are busy with almost every country in the world, everyone in the world, but not us. Not us. And we voted for them and they should work for us. They should help us instead of Israel, instead of Ukraine, instead of like all these other countries. I probably forget 25 countries. Iran, Thailand, Cambodia. I can go on and on and on. I wish they did something for us because we are getting so tired. Or again, I will speak for myself. I'm getting so tired of the fact that all these politicians always lie. They promise us everything, but once they have the power, they don't do anything. And this is so annoying. And excuse me for my frustration, but I feel like there's more people who are watching this and they are getting so tired of the fact that we are just being played by these people. They look at us like we are just like people who can't do anything and we just have to pay and shut up. But I'm tired of this.
Working overtime to jack up the stock market, to cut corporate taxes. They're working overtime for the interest, for the money. And what are they doing in Congress? Corporate tax cut paid for by cutting Medicaid. Really? What are they doing in Congress now? Cutting food stamps for 40 million people so that they could not give subsidies with Obamacare. Think of the political genius of this. The election was last night. They're revoking food stamps so they can avoid subsidizing health care. No health care, no food stamps. Oh, you want health care subsidies? We're taking your food stamps. After we took your Medicaid to pay for corporate tax cuts and Israel's missiles, and you're blaming Tucker Carlson for losing? That was the genius playbook? Air traffic controllers and TSA are furloughed. They're shutting down all air travel. They didn't cut $1 out of the deficit, but they're taking healthcare and food stamps. They're not deporting any illegals, but we're still getting riots and we're still getting National Guard, but yet somehow we're still getting crime. Congress is doing nothing. We're at war in Venezuela all of a sudden. And you're saying that Tucker is the reason you got destroyed in Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York? Maybe it's because in all those places, the Democrats are talking about things that Americans actually want. You know what's out of control right now? Homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance has like tripled in the past 5 years. It's ridiculous. Taxes are going up. And if homeowners insurance and taxes are going up, then rents are going up. And that's coupled with the persistently high inflation, which they can't get to 2%. The prices that went up in the past 3 years, they're staying up, and wages are not matching that. The job market is frozen. And so people right now are looking around and they're saying, I can't get a job. The ladder has been pulled up because of ChatGPT and because the tariffs have frozen investment in the economy.
Nick is speaking some real facts here, and probably everyone feels the same like this. It's insane, and I hated to say it, but what he just said is so true. People are getting so tired of the Trump administration because they are not helping us. They're not doing anything. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to attack Donald Trump. I like the guy. I really like the guy. But I'm starting to get annoyed by him. He is not helping us, the average American. And yeah, I know it. My English is not the best, excuse me, but I hope you get the point. I'm a legal migrant myself, so sorry that I say for us Americans, but you get the point. We are so tired of paying so much for everything almost in this country, and we don't get anything back. We don't get anything back. We voted for Donald Trump or the Trump administration to help us with those things, but they are not helping us, and it's so frustrating. And again, sorry for my frustration, but I feel like there's more people who completely agree with Nick on this one, and they're also so tired of what is happening to our country. Our country is becoming a joke almost. I hated to say it, it hurts my feelings, but the United States is becoming a joke. We need to do something. Come on. We cannot live like this.
Supply side stimulus isn't working. I can't get a job, but my insurance has tripled. My healthcare is super expensive. If you're right leaning, you're saying illegals are still in my town. Crime is still rampant. We're still giving money to Ukraine and Israel. Am I going to vote for the guy that's behind all that is covering for Jeffrey Epstein on top of it? In the middle of this election, there's a row over anti-Semitism? Or am I going to vote for the Democrats that say, we're just going to give you free stuff? We're going to make the bus free. We're going to make the bus free. We're going to freeze your rent. We know rent is getting too expensive. We're going to stop it from we're going to pass a law. It's not going to get more expensive. We're going to open up a grocery store where it's cheaper. And yeah, maybe it won't work. Maybe it will. We're going to try. Gee, I wonder why Republicans lost. And this is all the more reason why I say in the midterms in 28, look, it's a no-brainer. People want economic populism time and time again. That's the winner. They want economic populism. They want non-wokeness. They don't want the political correctness. They want someone that's normal, but honest. They don't want some psycho, tranny, whatever person. They don't want corporate nonsense. They just want someone relatable. They want someone young and energetic and normal and relatable. And we don't want to fight the wars. We don't want to fund Israel's wars. We don't want to be in Ukraine. We want an end to corruption. It's that simple. If Republicans put out that program in 26 and 28, they stand a chance. In other words, the party that will put Americans first will win. If the Republicans don't, they will lose. And by the way, I saw some people saying, well, why do you want to salvage the Republican Party? I'll tell you why. Because it's not as simple as I'm making it sound. Yes, the Democrats are talking about affordability, but you know as well as I do, the Democrat coalition is literally built on their opposition to white people. That's what it is. When Zohran Mamdani talks about raising taxes and increasing benefits, whose taxes are going to go up to pay for whose benefits? Taxes are going to go up on the white neighborhoods to subsidize benefits in the non-white neighborhoods. Zohran Mamdani is at the state capitol screaming and yelling about mass deportations. So there is something sinister. We're letting the Democrats eat our lunch as the right wing. They're talking about affordability, but the Trojan horse is they're bringing with it open borders, and it doesn't work. What do you think is driving up the cost of everything? It's that we have 10 million more people living here now than we did 5 years ago. It only makes common sense. We didn't build 10 million more houses. We didn't build hospitals for 10 million more people. We didn't get that much richer in the past 5 years. If anything, we got poorer.
Exactly, and this is also a very important point. And again, I'm saying this as a migrant myself, a legal migrant, but if there's too many people coming into our country and they don't bring any addition, of course everything is gonna be more expensive. Of course there won't be any house, or the rent will rise because there's not enough houses, but there are too many people. So this is just so stupid. And again, I hated to say it, but I agree on the fact with what Nick also just said now, that the Democrats, I feel like the Democrats now, I hate to say this, but I feel the Democrats now are more America first than the Republicans. Why? I have no idea. Please, if someone know the answer, explain me. Put the answer in the comments. But it's insane that the Republicans, they don't care about like the average Americans. Like again, everything is getting more expensive. Rent, groceries, all the payments for everything. The insurances as well. And it's getting out of hand. And of course, if the Democrats will say, we will make it cheaper, we will give you like free buses, we will give like grocery stores who are cheaper than the normal grocery stores, of course they will win votes. Of course they will win votes. But I wish the Republican Party did this. But they're not doing this. Why? I don't know. And again, it's such a shame because their slogan is America first. I don't feel it's America first. I feel like it's almost every country in the world first and America's last.
So you have the same amount of housing, the same amount of healthcare resources, the same amount of transportation, but for 10 million more people. It's got to be divided up with a larger denominator, 10 million additional inhabitants. So the Democrats want a welfare state with open borders. They want to open up the borders. They even want to invite intra-national immigration. They want people from Minneapolis to move to Maine. They want people from Texas to move to South Dakota. And they want free healthcare and free housing and free whatever with open borders. And the people from all over the world will come here and they'll destroy every city that has free stuff, and then they'll move to the next city that hasn't been ruined. And as the country gets poorer, the only people that are productive and working and a net positive, for the most part, it's going to be whites and Asians. They're the ones paying into the pot, and everybody else is taking. That's the recipe on the Democratic side. And there's only one other party, it's Republicans. I'm not a Republican. I don't like Republicans, but I like Democrats less. I want the Republicans to win as America first. America first must infiltrate and subvert and take over the Republican Party, literally for legal reasons. You want to know why? Because to start a third party, it costs a fortune. You want to get ballot access in 50 states, it costs a fortune and takes time. So for me, it's literally about expediency. We need America first to quickly seize control of the Republican Party, like a full-scale revolution in the GOP, and then we need to win. And we can win with that message. Republicans can win if there's an America first revolution inside of it, and we can have it all ways. We can have economic populism with closed borders. The country's already socialist. It is what it is. Let's have it in one country, to borrow a phrase. That's a little wink and a nod to my history nerds. We can have affordable housing. We can have affordable health care. We can help people out. We have a welfare state. Let's live with it. But we have to do it with closed borders. That means closing the borders, deporting the illegals. We could have abundance. We could be abundance liberals. You want to have new urbanism? You want to have a city with free transportation? Good. We have to get all the criminals and hijackers and killers off the streets.
I agree, and this is a very good point. But if we cannot do it now, the Republicans won big time this year. And if we can't do this now, we have the borders closed, everything is going following plan, if you ask the Republican Party. But we are not solving anything. So if we cannot do this now, long story short, if we cannot do this now, when could we do this? Because there will never be a moment that we win this big with the Republican Party. And again, the Democrats will not do this because Nick just explained you, they will open up the borders and we will have more problems, like for real. But if we are not able to do this now with such a powerful vote we have with the Republicans, when will we do this then? Because I don't believe then it almost can happen. But again, this is just my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I wish this could happen. I really wish this would happen.
That's a good compromise. People want affordable and good and well-administered public services. We can do that. We can deliver that. We have to enforce the laws. We have to deport the illegals and close the borders. At the same time, we can't have all this investment. We can't rebuild our productive capacity. We can't pay for people if we're paying for the warfare state. We can't be on the hook for every country's wars. Europe is going to have to put up some money. Japan and South Korea are going to have to put up some money. Okay, we can do these things. This can all work synergistically. It's called America First. Let's start thinking about what's best for our people. Our people are dying, like literally. Our people are dying. They're starving. They're going broke. They don't have jobs. They're besieged by these technological and economic revolutions of the past 25 years. Let's help them. Let's focus on them. Not foreigners living here, not foreign interlopers, not foreign lobbies, not foreign special interests. America first. Let's get the foreign money out of politics. Let's root out the corruption. Let's send the foreigners home. Let's stop fighting for every other country's battles, their tribal conflicts. Let's put the Americans first. That's the program. You don't want to lose another election again. That's the mission. But in order to do that, we're going to have to look at Ben Shapiro's ugly face, and we're going to have to tell him no. Sorry, Ben. You're going to be disappointed. We don't give a about Israel.
I really like it when Nick is on fire, and he's actually funny AF. And I completely support the message he just said. America first and Americans first. Even me as a foreigner, I completely agree with this. Don't worry about me, guys. I will never hold my hand up to ask for money. I will never live off benefits. I will work my ass off. I will pay taxes. I'm actually paying now already a lot of taxes. And I want this tax money to go to real Americans. I want this tax money to go to America. Not to any other foreign country. Not to any other foreign war. I want this to go to real Americans and to America. This is everything I want, and I hope you agree with me on this one. And I hope you agree with Nick. And if you disagree, also fine. Please share your opinion in the comments. I'm very curious, and it's important to say I read all comments. So please share your opinion. Do you agree with Nick? Do you disagree with Nick? I'm very curious. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you really like this video, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And last but not least, guys, I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!